The hum of the typewriter fades into the sound of an arena crowd as Inside Wrestling February 1989 comes to life. 66 pages of sweat, lawsuits, ego, and brilliance. This isn't just a magazine, it's a living time capsule from when wrestling was written like scripture and printed like gospel, every headline. A hymn to the madness of the ring. It begins with, "Sincerely yours, the monthly fan forum that proves no sport has followers quite like wrestling's believers." The letters come from every corner of America. Fans defending the Rockers, praising women's wrestling, and venting fury over Lex Luger's blood stoppage loss to Ric Flair. One calls the NWA's decision criminal neglect. Another hails Bambi as the future of the sport. The editors answer each letter like battle-scarred diplomats, sometimes agreeing, sometimes stoking the fire. "This magazine belongs to you," they write, "but don't expect us to nod politely." From the mailroom, we enter Stusak's editor's notebook. It's measured but defiant. The first time an AWA champion, Jerry Lawler, has outranked Ric Flair in the official ratings. Sachs argues it isn't bias, it's proof. Lawler's defended more, risked more, and fought through injury more than any champion in years. He faces the outrage head on. If this makes us unpopular, good. Wrestling should never be polite. He even foreshadows Lawler's legal tirades later in the issue with a sly wink. By the time his lawsuit reaches court, he may already have proven us right. Then comes David Rosenbaum's Behind the Dressing Room Door, an intimate piece on Lex Luger's slow unraveling after the 1988 Great American Bash. He doesn't talk about Baltimore anymore, Rosenbaum writes, but it talks through him. The piece reads like a therapy session disguised as journalism. Luger trains in silence, haunted by the blood stoppage that robbed him of the NWA title. "I had him," he says of Ric Flair. "I had him, and they took it from me." Rosenbaum ends with a line that feels carved in stone. "The ring doesn't remember who almost won." Craig Peters, on the road, picks up the rhythm and drives it cross-country, looking back on the chaos of 1988, the end of the Horsemen, the rise of Sting, the fall of the UWF, and the gamble of Super Clash 3. "It was a year that ended a lot of things," he writes, "but it didn't end wrestling. It just reminded it to grow teeth again." He predicts 1989 will belong to real athletes, naming Sting, Bam Bam Bigelow, and the Ultimate Warrior as the men ready to burn the neon off the marquee. From there, Bill Apter's Names Making News turns the gossip mill into a news wire. The lead, Jerry Lawler's controversial cage victory over Kerry Von Erich. "A broken hand and a closed door didn't stop the king," Apter writes, "but they may have closed his courtroom." Kerry demands a rematch, calling the finish larceny with a referee's whistle. Apter lists the rest of the industry like a roll call. Steve Dr. Death Williams joins Kevin Sullivan's Varsity Club. Cactus Jack and Gary Young capture CWA Tag Gold. Abdullah the Butcher reunites with Gary Hart. Dick Slater resurfaces in Florida. Rick Martel recovers from Demolition's assault. Sergeant Slaughter trains for a comeback. It's fast, factual, and fierce. The wrestling world as seen from 30,000 feet. Then comes the acid-tongued Eddie Elner and his infamous Insider. He's thrilled by the Road Warriors' heel turn, calling it a return to nature. "They were never heroes," he writes. "They were lions who forgot how to bite." Elner mocks the fans who ever believed Hawk and Animal cared about them. "Good things come to those who wait," he quotes, "but better things come to those who crush." The Legion of Doom, he concludes, has finally remembered what it was born to do: hurt people. Liz Hunter's On Assignment flips the tone entirely, chronicling the life of Florida's junior heavyweight champion Steve "Party Animal" Collins. Hunter finds him unloading baby furniture by day, defending his title by night. "He's not chasing superstardom," she writes. "He's chasing rent." The article moves like a poem, my tired eyes under arena lights, frozen peas on bruised knees, and a man who fights not for fame, but for survival. "Some champions get fireworks," she ends. "Others just get up the next day." The "where are they now?" column checks in on old warriors. D.I. Bob Carter selling vitamins. Tommy Gilbert writing his memoirs. Dick the Bruiser still slugging his way through Midwest cards. And Baby Doll balancing motherhood with plans for a comeback. It's equal parts melancholy and respect. Then comes Capsule Profile number 151. Rick Steiner, the one-paragraph comic gem that calls him so bad they should call him Stink. It nails his mix of brute strength and unpredictability. He's not a thinker. He's a barker. That's why it works. The next burst of pages takes readers into news from the wrestling capitals, the lifeblood of the territory era. Lawler rules Memphis. Kerry Von Erich vows revenge in Dallas. The Varsity Club dominates Florida. Sting rises in Atlanta. Vern Gain holds the AWA together with tradition, tape, and tenacity. The crowd noise almost bleeds off the paper. Matt Brock's plain speaking follows, honest and unfiltered. He praises the Road Warriors for stopping the act and starting the fight, and tips his hat to Lawler as a king who earns his crown. He ends with his trademark bluntness. If you're tired of seeing the same names on top, beat them. That's the business. From there, the magazine turns violent and personal with the Dan Davis versus Ken Wayne double nightmare in the CWF. A southern tragedy of friendship turned feud, described in prose that drips with sweat and sympathy. They started as brothers, it reads. Now they fight like men who want to forget they ever were. The blood barely dries before the magazine detonates with the Road Warriors' message to Barry Windham. Leave Sting alone. He's ours to cripple. Hawk and Animal speak in rage and prophecy. We don't share prey, Hawk snarls. Animal adds, Windham thinks he's saving Sting. He's really just holding him still. It's written like a war declaration, the Legion of Doom, reclaiming their monstrous identity. We're not villains, Hawk says. We're honesty with muscles. Then comes betrayal turned into literature. J.J. Dillon's Tully and Arn will fail under Bobby Heenan. It's not a column, it's a scalpel. Heenan manages personalities, Dillon writes. I built legends. He calls Blanchard and Anderson soldiers without a flag, destined to win matches but lose meaning. The closing line hits like a curse. The horsemen don't die. They just embarrass themselves trying to live without me. The mood shifts from psychological to physical destruction with outrage in the WWF. Hulk Hogan is humiliated by Big Bossman. The prose reads like the Book of Revelation written in sweat. He wasn't beaten, the author says. He was chained. Hogan, handcuffed and beaten by the Bossman, isn't just hurt. He's human. The myth bled that night, the story says. The Hulkster proved he's not immortal. He's just indestructible. Then the issue salutes redemption with Sergeant Slaughter. I'm back to answer America's call. The Sarge roars back from the wilderness, declaring, some people buy flags, I carry mine. He vows to stand for decency in an era gone corporate, declaring war on the disrespectful and the unpatriotic. The drill sergeant's back, he barks, and the world's about to shape up or ship out. But Inside Wrestling saves its most meta twist for the end. Jerry Lawler's warning to Inside Wrestling, if Ronnie Garvin wins my AWA title, I'll sue you, is a headline that transcends storyline. Lawler, both champion and self-proclaimed victim of media slander, threatens legal action against the very magazine printing his rant. If Garvin beats me, he says, it'll be because someone fixed it and that someone's going to pay. The editors run it unedited, equal parts journalism and theater. Then comes pure personality. One-on-one, Jim Cornette versus Paul E. dangerously. 2 egos, 2 columns, 0 rules. Cornette calls Paul E. a loudmouth who mistakes a phone for a brain. Paul fires back, calling Cornette a spoiled brat with more hairspray than the strategy. Back and forth they go. Insults as weapons, punctuation marks as jabs. Until Cornette closes with, I'll meet him anywhere, anytime. And Paul E. counters, he wouldn't last 5 minutes without his racket. It's chaos, but it's symphonic chaos, the written version of a promo that never ends. Finally, the official ratings deliver order amid anarchy. Jerry Lawler sits atop the world category with Ric Flair and Randy Savage nipping at his heels. The Road Warriors dominate the tag division. Bambi dethrones Sherry Martel as top woman wrestler, Every ranking feels like a scoreboard for a world that refuses to stop fighting. The roll call of champions follows Wazoo's an exhaustive listing of every major and minor title holder written like a census of glory. And tucked at the very end, the blast from the past remembers Briscoe versus Funk from 1973. Two men who wrestled for pride before pay-per-views existed. The final paragraph hidden beneath the subscription form says everything about why Inside Wrestling mattered. We don't just cover the sport, we live where it hurts, between the cheers and the blood, where legends are written in sweat and remembered in print.